With me is the Secretary General of the BIMSTEC grouping, Mr. Indra Mani Pandey. So welcome to WION. It's great to have conversation with you. And my first question to you is about the status of the current cooperation in the BIMSTEC grouping itself. Since the Bangkok summit happened, where a lot of important milestone developments happened, and we know that the grouping now even has a charter. The focus is also on connectivity, on more connectivity inside the grouping. So if you can give us an overview about the current status inside the grouping.
Thanks, Sidhant. This year we are looking forward to starting two new mechanisms. One will be the meeting of the health ministers, which Sri Lanka will be hosting, and the other is meeting of the home ministers, which India will be hosting. But before it would be hosting the home ministers meeting, we are looking forward to a meeting of national security advisors also. And then there are plans this year for the meetings of the foreign ministers, a retreat of the foreign ministers to be hosted by Bangladesh, then a meeting of foreign ministers in New York on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. We may also have meetings this year to be hosted by our member states of energy ministers, a meeting of the tourism and culture ministers. So there are a lot of ministerial meetings which have been scheduled and are being scheduled to be held this year. So this will be a very significant year. Since the summit, we have been continuing to work on various areas of cooperation. Last year, we made a good progress compared to, for example, 2023, when we had 30 meetings under BIMSTEC. Last year, we had about 60 meetings under BIMSTEC. So we have made progress in energizing and revitalizing BIMSTEC. And my expectation is that this momentum will continue during 2026 and the years to come.
How can this grouping play an important role when it comes to the maritime security? Because this is one of the area of worry, concern, and also more maritime cooperation. The countries, BIMSTEC is Bay of Bengal essentially. So Bay of Bengal is a region which is full of resources as well, but also challenges. So how can BIMSTEC play an important role?
So the security sector at Sidhant, you know, is led by India. And in security sector, India has given a lot of importance to cooperation in maritime security. In maritime security, we have been looking at developing laws, guidelines, which will allow our maritime law enforcement agencies to interact with each other. We are working on a white shipping agreement in the context of maritime security for our member states. And recently, member states have decided that for the first time, a maritime security exercise involving the coast guards and navies of our member states will be held. India has already convened it in November 2026, and we are working out on the operational modalities. So this will be a very important steps in ensuring maritime security of the Bay of Bengal region. Of course, Bay of Bengal is very important part of the Indian Ocean region. So naturally, if we are able to secure Bay of Bengal, will contribute to security of Indian Ocean region also.
So the West Asia crisis has had global impact. We have seen spike in energy prices. Security is another big issue. While Bay of Bengal is directly not near the area of conflict, the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, but there are choke points around the region, the Malacca Straits as well. But that aside, that's the context. My question to you is essentially, how has the West Asia crisis been talked about inside the grouping? How can BIMSTEC play an important role?
See, the West Asia crisis has impacted on all our member states. Sri Lanka, India, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, they have all been negatively impacted by the crisis. What are major challenges? Energy security, food security, security of the supply chains. And this is where grouping like BIMSTEC can play an important role. Already we are working in area of energy security through interconnecting our electricity grids. We are working on promoting renewables and energy efficiency. In case of food security, there is a proposal to create a BIMSTEC food reserve. And in case of, as I mentioned, in maritime context, there is a growing cooperation. Maritime connectivity is a very important aspect of our cooperation, where there is an agreement already signed by our member states. We are looking at even dealing with maritime resources under our blue economy sector. So what West Asia crisis has highlighted, that regional groupings can provide that platform where member states can deal with some of the challenges which now we have witnessed because of the West Asia crisis, particularly to collectively ensure their energy security and food security. And here India has a very important role to play. India has already taken the initiative of supplementing the requirement of petroleum products for our member states, meeting their food requirements. So if we can create a regional framework to deal with these challenges in the long term, that will be very helpful for all our member states.
So my last question to you is about India's role. India is the push in many ways when it comes to the BIMSTEC grouping. India is keen that BIMSTEC sees more activity, more cooperation, more engagement. How do you see India's role inside this grouping?
Within BIMSTEC, of course, India being the country with the largest capability and capacity, so member states expect India to play a leading role, and it has been playing a leading role. You would recall at the last summit, Honorable Prime Minister had announced more than 20 points of action to be taken by India to promote cooperation under BIMSTEC. In IORA, India is the current chair. In BIMSTEC, India will be the chair after Bangladesh completes its chairmanship. Currently, India leads also Colombo Security Conclave. India is in the chair of IONS, also Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. So India has that opportunity to shape the cooperation within Indian Ocean region in all its dimensions, whether we look at maritime connectivity, or security, or promoting blue economy, or protecting the environment, marine ecosystem. So naturally, India's size, India's prominent role in the region, endowed it with that opportunity to lead the cooperation.
On that note, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION, as always, at the Indian Ocean Conference. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sidhant.
With video journalist Joy Sidhant Sibal for WION in Mauritius.